About it. That's right, we gotta talk about it. Oh, let's talk about it. And just like that, boom, everybody's gone. They're like, I ain't watching that video, bro. There ain't no way I'm watching that. There ain't no way I'm gonna be watching that video with that guy singing like that. I don't know what the heck he's thinking. Or maybe they'll drop a bunch of comments talking trash about how bad I sound when I sing. Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the case. Maybe they'll talk a bunch of trash, which will feed the algorithm, which will get tons of comments, which will make it go viral. And then people will take a little tiny clip. They'll just take that little piece, and then they'll make up a whole story around a little tiny piece, right? Because that doesn't happen on the internet, right? That doesn't happen. People don't take a tiny little clip out of context and turn it into something it's not. That would never happen. So they'll just take that little clip of me singing at the beginning, not really singing, but anyways, they'll take that little clip and they'll be like, this guy is trying to launch his singing career at age 48 or something like that. It'll have some crazy headline. Anyways, this is what happens on this show. Just so you know, my name is Glenn Lundy, husband to one, father to nine. I'm the host of a daily morning show called #RiseAndGrind, where each week we have different themes that are filled with motivation, education, and inspiration. I go live at 5:30 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. And really the whole process is me waking up at 3:50 in the morning and doing my morning routine for myself, followed by me writing down the words, good morning, right here on my Remarkable tab. And after I write the words, good morning, then I go on and I build a daily morning show. Then I drive to the studio or go to the hotel or wherever, it depends on where I am, and I will build that show. I will build the show using basically like PowerPoint, but for video, right? So a bunch of B-roll clips, bunch of different things, so on and so forth. I'll build the show out, and then once I build the show, it's now 5:30, and I'm like, okay, time to go live. Right when I go live, my brain just goes somewhere else. My brain goes somewhere else. The minute I push go live, it's like, because there's this little tiny amount of time that you have to fill at the beginning of the show to give the algorithm time to get the people in here live. And so today, that's where my brain went. But now where we're going to go is we're going to finish up. We're in a series called Love Me Not. And we've been talking about, this week, we've been talking about how love isn't this airy-fairy, whatever thing, this soft, gentle thing, but actually this strong, fierce, powerful force. And we've been talking about how in today's society, love has kind of gotten, I want to say a bad rep, but culturally, what we consider love for one another and love for ourselves isn't necessarily lining up with exactly what it means and the impact that it can have. So we've been talking about that, not a lot this week. We've been talking about that all this week. We're going to continue talking about it. Today we're going to dive into this idea of self-love. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but we're going to carry that over today. This self-love and this fine line between loving yourself and worshiping yourself, because one is a good thing and the other is not. You can probably figure out which one. Good morning and welcome to the #1 morning show in America. I am your host, Glenn Lundy, husband to one, father to nine, author, speaker, and the founder of 800%.life. It's 5:30 a.m. and it's time to rise and grind. Hey, good morning. How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Thursday. That's right. Today is Thursday, February 19th, 2026. This year's flying by. Today is Thursday, February 19th, 2026. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Thursday, February 19th, 2026. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most of this absolutely incredible Incredible day. Dude, I'm coming to you live from Lexington, Kentucky. That's right, coming to you live from Lexington, Kentucky, where today it's supposed to be pretty warm. I think today we're supposed to be in the mid to high 60s or something like that. Unfortunately, well, maybe fortunately, I don't know. It depends on how you look at it. With that warmth is we're supposed to have a bunch of rain. We got like 80% chance of rain all day today. And I got to tell you, on my way to the studio today, I experienced the fact that it's going to be a wet day. The fog outside this morning, I'm driving down. So you go out of my house. I have a 150-foot driveway maybe. You go out of my house, you turn right, and then you drive down the street for not even a quarter mile, an eighth of a mile, and then you kind of get to the the stop sign, which turns you to the main road. I pulled out of my driveway. I turn right. I can't see. Like, it's so foggy. What's up, Frank Knox? It's so foggy, I can't see. And I thought I was at the end of my road, a whole half of an eighth of a mile, whatever that is, a 16th of a mile, before I was actually at the end of the road, man. That's like, I could not see 3 feet in front of me. It was so foggy. So once I got onto the main road, I had to like carefully inch my way over to the interstate. Once I got onto the interstate, kind of drops down into a valley. Things were a little bit better. I was able to see, and I was able to make it my way into the studio this morning. But it is definitely going to be a wet day today. Cat Perez says the earth is being washed. Love it. Wash it. Clean it up. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. But listen, it's going to be warm today. It's going to be rainy today. Then it's supposed to be super cold this weekend, and we're supposed to have some snow, and it's supposed to be in the low 30s. So we're going to enjoy this day, and that is kind of the thing about Kentucky, right? And my guess is some of you, depending on where you are on the planet, you experience kind of those highs and lows as well when it comes to the weather, right? There's the ups, there's the downs. What's up, Chris Deadman? There's the ups, there's the downs. And I got to tell you, even with all of the ups and downs, I absolutely love it here in Kentucky. I absolutely love it. I've lived in 17 different states in this beautiful country, the United States of America. I've lived in 17 different states. I love it in Kentucky. It's just amazing. The people that are here, Scott says weather in North Carolina is going to be amazing. Okay. All right. I hear you. Mike Larkin says pea soup. I'm not sure what he's referring to, but I love it here in Kentucky. The people here in Kentucky are amazing. The community here in Kentucky is incredible. It's one of those places where there's like wealth. There's a lot of old money. And so people are wealthy, but the cost of living is still like reasonable. And a lot of people would say the cost of living is like low. It's cheap, right? So you got a combination of opportunity, great people, tradition. You got all of those things together. And then it's also, cheap. So I love it here in Kentucky. And one of the things I love here in Kentucky is these kids. So there is a massive homeschool community in Kentucky. There's thousands of kids. Thousands of kids. Cat Perez says 57 in Michigan. Eliza says the ups and downs of the weather help us appreciate each season as it comes. We are always ready for the next one. That's right. So there's a huge community of homeschoolers in this area. It's very much welcomed, and they can still play in sports and so on and so forth, right? So the kids here are just amazing. And yesterday we launched our 800% teen entrepreneur class. 800% teen entrepreneur class. And It kicked off. The kids came in right around noon. They were all sitting in their desks, which was so interesting, right? Like when I have events here, adults will all stand and gather and talk until I say, let's start. Whereas the kids were all like in their desk. There was 4 of them that couldn't find the building. We'll figure that out for next week. But the ones that found the place, they were sitting in their desks, and it was so freaking awesome because these kids, they ask great questions, right? They ask really great questions. And we started talking about business, and I shared with them that they've got some powerful people that are going to come to visit them over the next 7 weeks. I let them know that Liza and Heather and Paul Daly and Katie and Fred and Lou and Adam and Danelle and all of them are going to come visit. Rob Ruth are going to come visit them over the next 7 weeks. And we kind of talked through what we were going to do, right? Like, first class is always like, what's the rest of the class is going to look like? And so we had some fun, and I told the kids right out the gate, like, we will always be honest and transparent here. Our business is operating here. If I get a phone call that's a deal or it's a client needing something, just know I'm going to answer that phone call, and I'm going to let you guys listen to how we actually operate our business. We're not going to put the kids over here and the parents over here. No, you have a seat at the table, like Pastor Jeff was talking about yesterday in Breakfast with Champions. The kids have a seat at the table. They see how we operate. The classes are right here in my offices, and it was just super, super fun. I will tell you this, though. I was so freaking nervous, man. Like, so nervous. Like, my armpits were sweaty at the end of the 3 hours that I had with these kids. Like, I was so nervous. And I was thinking about it last night. What's up, Steve Hartle? I was thinking about it last night. It was like, why am I so nervous? Like, I can talk on a stage in front of 10,000 people at 10X GrowthCon and win the greatest speaker in America doesn't make me nervous. I can speak at a National Automobile Dealer Association opportunity. I can speak there. Huge room. I'm just working the crowd. I'm in my element. I feel great about it. I get in front of 14 students, and oh my gosh. Dude, it was crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, I am so stressed out every minute, right? Every minute of it. But we had a great time, and we laughed, and the kids learned, and it was super, super fun. But I was thinking about it last night. I think the reason I get so nervous with the teenagers is I understand that one sentence, one strategy, one concept, one idea at this age can like have a ripple effect that ultimately turns into a massive tsunami. It could be a tsunami of success. It could affect them and the next generation and the generation and the generation, right? Like, that's what I was thinking about. It's like, okay, it's one thing with adults, you know, we can make an impact, which is great. I love it. Maybe a generational impact, which is great, and I love it. But I just feel like these teenagers are even more susceptible, and they have even more runway out in front of them than you do. Just being true, you know, you and I, 48 years old, all right, we got X amount of runway. These kids are 14. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know? And so it was really nerve-wracking in so many ways. And I absolutely loved it, which brings us to this week's series, Love Me Not, where we've been talking about a really passionate type of fierce, bold love. Thanks, Bill Harrison. And yesterday when we finished up, we talked a little bit about Theodore, Teddy Roosevelt, who was a sickly kid, had asthma, so on and so forth. And his dad told him, instead of his dad telling him, you're perfect as you are, his dad told him to go build himself, and he became a tough president. We talked about Ruby Ridges, the 6-year-old girl who was the first to integrate schools in the 1960s, escorted by federal marshals. A little girl that didn't wake up and said, I'm going to choose comfort today. No, she chose courage. Because see, really loving yourself it's not about avoiding the hard things. It's about believing that you have the strength to walk through them. Also, yesterday we talked about the fact that if everyone in your life is toxic, it might not be them. It might be you. So we're going to continue that series here today. Before we go too far, though, you know what we got to do on this show? You know, we got to do some dancing. We got to get our bodies in motion, an object in motion. I feel like that's too loud. No, it's good. We got to get our bodies in motion, right? An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest stays at rest. So we like to get moving on this show. We like to get our bodies moving. If you're out there working out right now, we want you to increase the intensity of your workout for the next minute or two. All right. If you're at work, you're in the cubicles, just go ahead, get it on, just get bumping. You know what I'm saying? Worst thing on my mind early in the morning time, right? And we can do that. If you're lifting weights, go a little bit heavier. If you're laying in bed right now, get your butt up and out of the bed. This is also the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. That's right. I need you to hit that share button because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you, yes, you, to hit that share button. Last but not least, this is the part of the show where I want you to say good morning to me, and I'm going to say good morning to you. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say what's up, and I will say what's up back. Frank Knox, good morning to you, sir. Don Sankey, thanks for being here this morning. Trisha Rue, good morning. Chris Dedman, good morning. Russell Hill, good morning. Bill Harrison, good morning. Luis Grafton Nonis, thank you for being here. Marilyn Wilkin, good morning, Marilyn. Thanks for being here. Russell Hill is in the building. The whole Breakfast with Champions crew, for those of you listening on Breakfast with Champions, thank you for being here, like Malika Starr and Christina Howard be popping up in there, and Maria, so on and so forth. Pastor Jeff be over there all the time. G.A. Pimbleton, he be over there as well. Dana Fishbein, thank you for being here. Greg Becker, I appreciate you. Kevin Mashi Antonio, thanks for being in the building. Robin Wilshans, good morning. Ramon Ray is on the treadmill. Let's go, Ramon. Ramp it up. I need an extra half a mile an hour out of you right now. Spencer Nicholson is in the building. Robin Price is in the building. Mike Larkin in the building. Scott Holbert is in the building. Scott Simons is in the building. Wes Storm, William Bush, Marla Michelle, good morning, good morning, good morning. My boy Jamal with 2 A's. I'm Glenn with 2 N's. He's Jamal with 2 A's. My boy Jamal McCoy is in the building. Wes Storm, good morning. Mike Rendine, good morning. Adrian Barker, good morning. Tara Hope, good morning. Oh, there's Maria Lind right there. Good morning, good morning. Thank you all so much for being here. I greatly appreciate it. I've got some news for everybody in the room. Here's the news. Couple pieces of news. One, 800% Life Facebook group. If you haven't joined it, join it. This is where all the things are going to be going down. We'll be announcing events that we're going to be having in the future, just like this 800% entrepreneur event. We're going to be having meetups all over the world. Well, by the end of this year, you're going to see there's going to be meetups happening all over planet Earth. All right, so we're going to have, that's where we'll be announcing meetups. This is where you can connect with other members of this community. Make sure you're in 800%.live. Great news also, the app. We have a Morning 5 app. The app, as of yesterday, is officially in the Google Play Store and should be at any second in the Apple Store, the whatever you guys call the Apple Store, right? So we have a Morning 5 app that helps you. It helps you with your morning routine. 5 simple steps. No snooze, no phone. Write down your gratitude and goals. Send out an encouraging message. Take care of the physical. Those 5 things, those 5 steps. And we have an app that not only holds you accountable to it, allows you to connect with other people that are also on a Morning 5 journey. It also allows you to earn points towards gear, which Rise and Grind gear. I have told the team to bring back a bunch of the Rise and Grind gear. That will be on the online shop, as well as we have 800% gear. which every month we have like special editions on top of everything else, like this 800% all heart shirt, so on and so forth. And so the app it's currently in the Google Play Store, and it will be in the Apple Store here soon. That's big. For those of you that were already in the app, it was kind of beta version. We were rolling it out. We were doing some testing, so on and so forth. Now we're going big time, and I'm super, super, super excited about it. All right, super excited. Also, real quick, I need to run through my company, 800% Elite Auto. Our the automotive branch of our company has really been growing and expanding at quite a clip, and so we have 5 new groups. I guess it's a total of like 14 stores that are coming on this week. And so I just want to give a shout out to Kyle Coleman and his crew, Coleman Automotive Group. They just joined 800% Club. I also want to give a shout out to Carla Casenzi and her brother Tommy and the group over at Tommy Car Auto. So you've got Kyle Coleman. Those guys are in like Iowa and around those areas. And then you got Carla. She's up in Massachusetts. Her and her brother in Tommy Car Auto, they're up in Massachusetts. So they just joined 800% Club. We've got JC Chapman and his group, Pinehurst Auto Group. Pinehurst Auto Group. They just joined 800% Club. Super excited to have their group be a part of what we're doing here. And then we've also got Jerry Hunt and my boy Hayden Hicks not Jerry Hunt, my boy Todd Hunt and Hayden Hicks at Jerry Hunt Superstores, which these guys sell 800 used cars a month out of an independent dealership. They're one of the largest independent dealerships in the world, and we're super excited to have their group in 800% Club. And then my boy James Crockett and his crew up the Harrison Auto Group up in Canada. That's right, they're up in Canada, and their group just joined as well, which that's now our fifth store up in Canada, I believe, as we continue to grow and expand 800% Club. So anyways, for those of you, maybe some of you are new watching the show because you're a part of one of those groups, just want to say welcome. We're super excited to have you here, and we're excited to continue to go on this journey of growth, not just in your business, but in your life. That's what 800% Life is all about. Yeah, let's go. So part of what we do in this group is we also read a book together every month, and it's a book that we share in the Rise and Grind Planner. And this month we're reading a book called Love Does by Bob Goff, and in this book, Bob talks about showing up in situations that are messy, complicated, uncomfortable, how important that is. He shares a story. Of where he's doing things with his dad's rifle that he shouldn't be doing, and he ends up shooting a bullet through his house just above his sister's bed. She's not in the bed, but just above his sister's bed, through the house, pops him in the eye, blood everywhere. His dad runs up, and when his dad runs up, he scoops him up, blood and all, carries him to the hospital to get him stitched up. And the point of the story is Bob was trying to share with us all that love means showing up. Like when it's messy, when it's complicated, when you're mad, when you're angry, when someone's done something wrong, when you disagree, when you don't align, like love is showing up for others, no matter the situation. And I just thought, man, that's really interesting, because when we talk about loving ourselves, and remember this week and yesterday we're talking about the difference between like loving self and worshiping self. When we talk about loving ourselves, a lot of times, like culturally right now, what we're hearing is like, you got to protect your energy, right? And I know that sometimes this is a healthy statement, but I just want you guys to really look at what we're being told, right? Like, if you're going to protect your energy, that means you're not going to jump into messy situations. If you're going to protect your energy, that means things get like we see it all the time, right? People are getting shot in the streets or getting stabbed on a subway, and everyone else is like, yeah, I'm not going to get involved. That's their deal. I'm just going to walk by. Like, you can go lay down. You see people just lay down in the middle of like New York City and or fall down in the middle of New York City, and everyone will just walk by them. Right? Love, a real love, says, hey, you know what? This might be a little messy. What I'm going through right now might not be the best thing ever, but I'm gonna show up anyway. I'm gonna show up anyway. The most powerful example of love in history is this guy named Jesus. You should probably study him, whether you believe in him spiritually, religiously, or whatever. Really doesn't matter. Best-selling author of all time and most impactful human to ever walk the earth. As a matter of fact, your entire timeline is built around based on the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. So let's look at his example real quick. The most powerful example of love in history. Jesus washed people's feet. Not because he lacked worth. It had nothing to do with his worth. It's because he knew exactly who he was. You see, culturally, you're being taught a weird way of loving yourself. You're being taught to more worship yourself. But what we need to understand is, like, when you know who you are, you don't have to protect your ego. See, a lot of times we worship self for ego purposes. We want to feel good about ourselves. It's not about feeling good all the time. It's just about understanding that the best way to love self is to show up even when things are hard, even when things are messy. Do the things that other people don't necessarily want to do because you owe it to yourself. Like, let me bring it around, all right? That's old Jesus washing feet. You don't want to wash any feet. That's fine. We live in a world where AI can generate the perfect photo of you. This is my image on the screen right here. I typed into ChatGPT, hey, based on what you know about me, just go ahead and create a caricature of Glenn Lundy. And this is what it created. Here's my caricature. And it says, I've got a Rise and Grind show. You can see there's a rocket in the background. It's just blasting into the sky. We've got the golden microphone. You've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Obviously, it's referring to me being on a lot of social media. We've got the horse over there because we own a race horse. We've got a little church over there with a cross because it knows I go to church. It's got a 5 a.m. alarm clock, and then it's got books underneath it that say motivation, leadership, success. It's got cars in the front round. It's got money all around it. It says auto industry expert, and then it's got my blonde hair, blue-eyed white lady wife with some black kids. With each of them getting lighter in skin tone. If you look at the picture, it starts with dark kids and then they get lighter and lighter, which is so incredibly freaking funny. And then it's got me speaking in front of an audience. It's got me wearing a suit jacket and a hoodie. I've never done that before. It's got a microphone on my face and it's got a coffee cup. So it doesn't know that much about me because I don't drink coffee, but it's got a coffee cup and it's got me standing on a pedestal. We live in a world where AI can generate the perfect photo of you. Perfect lighting, perfect jawline, perfect life. And the temptation for us is to curate on social media, curate in our lives instead of cultivate. I'm going to put it to you this way. The line between self-worship and self-love is this. Self-worship edits the images. Self-love builds the character. You see, real self-love wakes up when wakes up when it doesn't feel like it. Goes to the gym when it doesn't feel like it. Does the workout when it doesn't feel like it. Real self-love tells itself the truth. Just tells itself the truth. Doesn't candy coat it. Yeah, bro, we got a problem. Yeah, we've got an addiction. Yeah, we have an issue. Yeah, not selling ourselves on any other excuse. This is just the way you are. Any of those things like that. No. Real love, real self-love is telling yourself the truth. Real self-love chooses growth over comfort. Real self-love accepts correction and feedback. Real self-love takes responsibility for all things, good and bad, in their lives. Real self-love forgives self without excusing self. You see, self-love isn't about this indulgence thing. Culture's trying to push it like, love yourself, create your own little bubble, and believe in your truth, and so on and so forth. No. Real self-love is about stewardship. Becoming the best version of yourself that you can possibly be, which requires you to step into the messy, which requires you to sometimes be in environments where your energy isn't going to be what you want it to be, to put yourself in environments that are going to be uncomfortable, to do things like washing the feet, even though you don't want to. You see, the biggest challenge that I have for you this week is I want you to love yourself enough to correct yourself. Like, love yourself enough to actually grow as an individual. Love yourself enough to stay in the hard conversations. Right now, all around the world, man, the biggest breakdown we have in humanity right now is the inability to communicate, because people keep backing away from the hard conversations. The reason my friend Heather Parody and I have such a powerful connection and relationship is because her and I have hard conversations every single week. Every single week. So I'm going to challenge you. Love yourself enough to stay in the hard conversations. Stay in them. Don't say, oh, I got to get out of here. This feels icky. Oh, that person, oh, I cannot believe that person thinks that way. I cannot believe that person voted for that person. I can't, no. Love yourself enough to be able to stay in there, man. That's where we're going to cultivate character. That's where you're going to grow and become a better human being and a better individual. Society, culture, social media, all this stuff is telling you, take the easy road, take the easy road, take the easy road. And I'm telling you, bro, the easy road does not lead to an easy life. It leads to a lackluster one. Love yourself enough to be disciplined. Love yourself enough. Love yourself enough to become the best version of you that you can possibly be. You see, you do not become best version of yourself by avoiding discomfort. You become the best version of yourself by rising through it. Is that fair? Listen, my name's Glenn, and I'm your friend. I love you. I do. I absolutely stinking love you. If nobody's told you yet today, I want to be the first. I absolutely stinking love you. I do. I really, really, really do. And it's as your friend, I need you to understand something. You and I are children of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything. And that God made us this way for a reason. He gave us the power of choice for a reason. He built us to where we can only grow through tension and struggle. We cannot grow living life on easy street and in comfort. Like, we were built that way. So with you and I being built that way, let's learn to lean in versus learning to retreat. Let's learn to embrace the uncomfortable versus constantly seeking comfortable. Does that sound fair? Does that sound fair? All right, cool. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to let you go do the things that you got to do today. Let's have a big day. Thanks for popping up in here. I greatly appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. We'll do it all over again right here on hashtag Rise and Grind. Have a great day. Thanks, Tanya. Yeah, Frank Knox. That event is this weekend. Creative Con. It's in Chicago. You didn't miss it. You should go if you're around.